Hi everybody, welcome to Sports Central. Neal Duncan alongside Kris Keprios, and last week we had Mark Zimmerman, or a couple weeks ago we had Mark Zimmerman on the show, and then you've replaced him. So is this the A team now?
Yeah, I think so. We're getting to the bottom of the barrel now as we try to replace Mark and
That's what you said
Hank.
last week.
But yeah, when you drag me back out of the office, it's been a while. In the new set, I haven't been to this yet, and I remember when we first started the show, we were over somewhere else in the building, and
right.
Whole different stuff. This is nice. Wow.
Well,
really
this first segment sponsored by the Holiday Inn Lakeland North, and I'm very excited about this first segment. And Coach Kelly Scott comes on the show every year to talk to us about Weber and his football program. And football's right around the corner. It's close.
It's always a good thing to see Coach Scott because that means it's time for football.
Absolutely, Coach Scott. Welcome to Sports Central, and you've been busy.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having us on, and I love what you guys do. Keep it up. And it's the first time anybody said it was good to see me. I apprite that. That's a good start.
Your players don't say that. We'll talk to a couple of them in a few minutes.
Yeah, we'll find out. But
I did tell them to be very careful.
The season hasn't quite started yet, so playing time is on the line. But it's always good to see the head coach when the season starts. It may not necessarily be good to be seen at the end of the season, but
exactly.
We're looking for great things this upcoming season from Weber. And talk to us a little bit about how the team was last year, how you finished up, and then what you're looking for this year.
Last year we started off real slow, to be quite honest, and finished real strong. And it seems to be a trend. And by gosh, we've kind of tried to make a mental adjustment, shall we say. I think you'll find the guys' attitude. The one thing that probably has helped me in this whole process from starting where we started was an old coach told me, he said, for everybody else, starting a football team is an event. He said, you better understand it's a process, and you better get the right type of young men. And right now, what I will tell you is we have great character on our football team, and I love their attitude, and I love the leadership. And a couple guys I'm going to bring in just exemplify what we really are trying to produce at Weber.
And Coach, talk about the leadership. What's the makeup of the team this year as far as juniors, seniors?
I think we've got about 18 seniors in the program right now. We're somewhere around 27, 28 juniors, probably that are going to impact the team, maybe 8 or 10 sophomores. And a few freshmen have surprised us here early in camp that we knew had a lot of ability, and they're kind of stepping up to the plate and showing that they might be able to help you a little bit.
Right.
But I had no coach tell me for every freshman you play, just go ahead and mark a loss down. If you got to rely on it, because they're going to make them dumb young mistakes, but that's part of the process too.
Yeah.
Well, it's part of the mentality that you've talked about with the program and making sure you have the right players, and talk about recruiting your backyard, because we know, in fact, one of your players is going to be in the second segment is from right here in Polk County. Talk about recruiting Polk County in the Central Florida area.
Well, Polk County has a lot of football players. The problem we've always had in Polk County is it's just like you when you were 18, you wanted to get away from home.
Right.
We have probably more success from the Tampa, Tallahassee, Fort Myers area because they are a little bit removed. The thing that we found with probably our Polk County athlete is the fact that they usually decide they want to go see how it is to live in New York or Massachusetts. And usually by the time the snow starts flying, I'm getting a lot of phone calls.
So they may go away for that freshman year, but that sophomore year they're looking for a transfer.
They're looking to come back home. Yep.
And Coach, you mentioned the momentum you had towards the end of last season, hopefully carrying that through to the beginning of this season. Talking about the schedule and looking at it, a lot of you're not going too far away from home, whereas in the last few years you'd had some trips to California or further away. So it's probably a good thing to stay closer to home.
It's awesome. Nobody understands what a 16-hour bus ride does to your body, especially when you're my age. But for the players, it's just a wear-down thing. It's really been neat to see the new school starting here in the state of Florida, and I hand it to our administration for starting this as we did, and we proved to people this is great for young men throughout the state of Florida. Opportunities to stay in state, get an education, and if football is a carrot, it's nothing wrong with using a carrot to motivate young people. My own line is when you go fish and you put bait on the worm, on the hook, if guess what, if football is the bait to get a young man a 4-year degree, let's keep fishing, guys.
Yeah.
Because we need as many in this country as we can get with a good education.
And there's no better schools to get that 4-year degree than at Weber.
Our guys have done
turned out some great
yeah, well,
talent.
we had a couple, except the ones that came to work for you guys, and they kind of
we won't hold it against you. But with that in mind, talking about they've been in camp for 2 weeks now, 3 weeks.
Almost 3 weeks.
3 weeks now. You've got the green and gold game tomorrow, which if you're watching this, it's tomorrow, Saturday the
Fourth.
24th already, yes.
So if you missed it in one of the re-airs, it certainly, but there's an opportunity to see some of the home football games. But what do you look for in your scrimmage game, which is tomorrow, and then what do you take from that when you go for your first game?
Well, really, as we go into this scrimmage game, our veterans will get probably very little playing time because we're ready to go next week. It's more putting the young guys in situations to see how they're going to handle the pressure of a game situation. We're looking just for timing right now, taking care of the football. We have a great nucleus. We have some young kids that we'd like to see make plays, and that's kind of what we're looking for in the scrimmage tomorrow. Our veterans, and we probably have, I think, 7 guys on the offensive side and probably 8 on the defensive side that have been playing for us for a couple of years. So those guys, we know what they're going to do.
Right.
It's those ones you don't know what they're
The
going to
wild
do when the
cards.
lights come
Well, tell
on.
us about a few of those players to look for in the upcoming season.
Well, I think, the 2 guys I've got in, Stephen Willis is on defense is safety. Stephen is a great athlete. He's been a 3-year starter for us, going into his 4th year here. Stephen has a chance to play at the next level. He's that kind of player. Defensively, we have Eddie Brown on the defensive line. We have Dilks as our nose man. We have 3 linebackers that played a lot last year, a safety and another corner that they played the entire year last year. So they're very solid. We've got a corner that's going to be new, who is a transfer from Grambling, who I think is going to be a very good player before the year's out, in Ronnie Hardison, and a couple D linemen that have come in that are young guys that they have the size and the speed. Now let's just see what happens when the real bullets are flying.
And when those real bullets start flying, again, Coach, back to the schedule, it's not an easy start to it. You got 3 of your first 4 on the road, and the one you do have at home is a brand new rivalry against Warner. Start with that one. Talk about that rivalry that's been started.
I think this is going to be great for Polk County with the addition of them in Southeastern. I think that says a lot for all of our kids here in Polk County that will have an opportunity to play. They'll find the growing pains just as we did. But that's okay. It's good for student athletes, and as I said, student athletes. So we're excited about the rivalry. I don't know. I think this change in scheduling probably is going to save me about $80,000 a year just in travel. That's huge in a program like ours. So this is a great thing. All these small schools starting.
Yeah, and the schedule is what it is. I know the question is always asked, who's the toughest on your schedule? I know the answer is always they're all tough, or the next one.
Yeah, well, really the toughest thing we have is ourselves. If we do what we're supposed to do, we have a chance to have a great season. And that's kind of what you got to see in how your leadership steps up under adversity and how the team flows.
Yeah.
Well, I understand you've had some staff changes to your coaching crew, and how does that change the dynamic, and what are you looking for from the new coaches?
We're really excited what's happened staff-wise. I've actually got off this staff now, we're up to 13 guys that have left us that are coaching at a higher level in college football. So apparently we're doing something right because guys are moving on and getting better jobs, and I think as a head coach that's an important part of it. But this year we added, last year we added Renard Ellis, which is a Winter Haven guy, who's an All-American at Mississippi College, is on the staff and is doing a great job. We had Rashad West as our new receivers coach, and Rashad was a head football coach down in Fort Lauderdale, come and joined us. And on the defensive side of the ball, we've added Victor Hall, who Vic was, played about 7-8 years in the league, and he brings a defense. Vic's about 6'5", 300 pounds, and he scares me at times. I don't know what he does to the kids.
Respect.
Yeah, and then brought in a new secondary coach, a young man named Kawaki Thomas, who is a 9-year veteran of the NFL at corner. And their insight and their attitude has really helped foster and help bring us together a little bit. So we're really excited about the guys we got working with us right now.
Well, and that's part of success within that program. You look at what happened at Florida State this past offseason with Jimbo Fisher. He lost a number of his guys to other programs. They were all upgrades, if you will. They all went from assistants to coordinators or things like that. So it's a tribute to what you guys have within your program, right?
Yes, it is. And the thing is, guys that work, they're going to go. Yeah. They're going to move, and you want them to, because everybody wants to push as far as they can, and that's part of this game.
Let's talk about the atmosphere a little bit at the home Weber games. what is there? If you've never been to a Weber football game, what kind of atmosphere is it?
And you call yourself a sports reporter?
No, I'm not saying me. I'm not saying me. I want for our listening audience here, our viewers.
I think what people don't understand is the quality of football.
Right.
You know, for example, Stephen, who's going to be on here, the head scout from Jacksonville said, "Hey, coach, don't let him have a good season." I said, "What are you talking about?" He says, "He'd be a second rounder for us. These guys can play. They're fast and they're big and they can run." And so I don't think everybody understands the quality of football they're going to get to see here in Polk County with the 3 schools in the coming years. No, it's not got 100,000 people at it, and you don't have. But guess what? You don't have to pay $50 a ticket either.
Exactly. Let's talk about the offense. What kind of offense will they see?
Well, for us, they're going to see more of a 2-back pro-style set right now. We have young quarterbacks. We actually have Cameron Joseph out of Tallahassee Lincoln, who came in as a freshman, and we have Billy Pavlock, who was at Delta State last year. So they're new to our offense. When you start spreading the ball, your quarterback has to make all the decisions. Well, guess what? When you hand it off, you don't make a lot of decisions.
What's the old saying? 3 things happen when you throw the ball, and 2
of them are bad. That's exactly right.
And I guess along the same lines, what are some of the goals you have going into the season? Do you set a goal for number of wins or things like that, or?
Well, yeah, but I'm not going to tell you that publicly.
No.
Come on now.
No.
You don't want no bulletin board material on you. I'm not going to give you none on
You
me.
asked us to be sports reporters.
Well,
we're asking the hard questions.
I
here,
know,
Coach.
but if you were writing it down, you'd get it wrong.
That's right.
No, what we really put as a goal is just every day to get better.
Right.
That's been our whole theme since we walked into camp, and I think the guys have bought into that. Our goal is to be the best football team we can be at the end of the season, and right now their mentality and our leadership is pushing us that way. So we feel very positive about our schedule. You know, things are going to go wrong, and you know that's what I tell our guys all the time. Adversity is what makes a man. It's easy to follow when things are smooth, but our leadership will take us through the adversity. If we can do that, it's going to be a real good season.
Let's see if we can get a general comment from you on this. I talked to you, enough coach speak. I talked to you yesterday on the phone a little bit, and you said the amount of juniors and seniors you have, you feel like the program is ready to turn the corner and take it to the next level this year.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of factors in that. One, as you look at our schedule now, we're playing at our level.
Right.
In the past, we've always been playing up, and it's hard to play up. You know, I tell the story. We went and played Citadel, and they beat us pretty dang good one year. And after the game, I said something to Coach. I said, "Well, guess what? You're going to Florida State next week." I said, "I got 24 scholarships. You got 65." I said, "Let's see what the difference is in that score." And Florida State put them on about 80 that year, if I remember correctly. So that's a factor small schools have to face. But right now, with the emergence of these other schools, we're getting on a level playing field, and now our guys get an opportunity to perform at the best of their level.
All right. Well, Coach, we wish you good luck, and I know you're going to hang around and to make sure there's no bulletin board material for your
players.
players.
The real story now. I'm going to ask the same question.
Yeah,
well, yeah.
Exactly.
You know what? They have to walk home if they don't get it right. So don't worry.
So you took
and they have
care
to
of
be on
that.
practice on time.
So we can bribe them with a ride then.
That's right. Coach, good luck. We appreciate
guys.
you as always coming on the show, and
we
look forward to a great season.
Well, come out and watch us a little bit.
We will.
You might get excited too. I need some more Warrior fans out there in Polk County. Okay.
All right. We'll work on it.